Hello and good morning. Welcome back to another one of the tips at 10. I hope you all enjoyed the workout from yesterday. I especially enjoyed the cool down at the end. So thank you to those that tuned into that yesterday. Today is going to be another educational topic. So the month of May is High Blood Pressure Awareness Month. So I thought this would give me a good chance to just kind of go over a little bit about, what high blood pressure is, some of the categories, what kind of risks you can see, some of the risk factors that can put you at more risk for high blood pressure, and then how to prevent high blood pressure, because I don't want to, it's not my place to give you a treatment plan, because I obviously don't specialize in treating high blood pressure. So I thought it would be appropriate to talk about how to prevent those things. So let's jump right into high blood pressure. So according to the CDC, at least 60 million Americans have high blood pressure. And essentially what blood pressure is it's the force against the artery wall. So obviously high blood pressure would mean that force against your artery wall is too high, and it's getting to a point where it can start to cause some health issues. Some of those health risks might be heart disease, stroke, congestive heart failure, kidney disease. There's a number of other risks involved, but those are just some of the main ones. So obviously it's very important to either prevent if you're still not at that stage, or control it properly. So let's dive into the categories of blood pressure. So these have been changing more recently, and there's like normal blood pressure, pre-hypertension, hypertension stage 1, hypertension stage 2, yada yada yada. But we're going to break it down into 3 simple categories here. So the first one is going to be normal. You probably already know this. That's the 120/80 or below. So they're starting to move towards the 180 or the 120/80 to start being high. So generally you want to be below 120/80. Next would be pre-hypertension. So your blood pressure is at this point is starting to creep up regularly, but you're not quite at that hypertension, that full out hypertension. So this is from 120, systolic 120 to 139, and diastolic 80 to 89. And then finally we have hypertension, which is systolic 140 and up, and diastolic 90 and up. So some of the risk factors that might lead you to getting hypertension, whether they're kind of all over the board. So some you can help, some you can't. That's just how it is. So the first one is age. So typically, from what I read, I think it's like, let me go back here quick. I don't want to give you any false information. So the risk of high blood pressure obviously increases as you age, and it's typically more common in men as you age, but women are likely to attain high blood pressure after the age of 65. So I know plenty of people that, both men and women, that have hypertension that are well under the age of 65. So, age does play a factor, but maybe not the highest. So Moving on, smoking can lead to hypertension. Along those same lines, alcohol consumption, even your race can put you at more risk for hypertension. A sedentary lifestyle, so being inactive, and then family history. So if your mom has it and your mom's mom has it and goes down the line, you're probably more at risk for hypertension. So now that we kind of covered those basics about what it is and some of the risk factors, things like that, let's talk about some ways to prevent high blood pressure. So the first one, I'm going to come right out with it, is regular exercise. This can be a number of ways. You can get it just from simply walking. You can do weight training or some cardio training. Even just you burn a lot of calories doing what we call as occupational work. So, that could be through your job, doing house chores, things like that. So, picking up the vacuum or sweeping the floors, scrubbing the floors really gets your heart rate actually going, and you can do some good for your heart that way. The next is to make sure you are consuming alcohol moderately. So I think it's like 1 to 2 per day. Depends on men and women. I believe. Yes. Yep. So for healthy adults, 1 drink a day for women and 2 for men. Up to, that doesn't mean you should drink, every day, but beyond that, you can start seeing some negative effects. So just making sure you're being moderate with your alcohol consumption, and then being able to maintain or work towards a healthy body weight. I think that pretty much speaks for itself. So that kind of ties in with getting that regular exercise and maintaining a healthy diet, things like that. And lastly, keep an eye on your sodium intake. So a lot of times you'll hear, salt and hypertension kind of go hand in hand. Yes, definitely, among a lot of other things. So if you can, be sure to read those nutrition labels and understand how much sodium there is in what you're eating, especially for those that have high blood pressure or have been diagnosed with it. So just keep an eye on those sodium intakes and try to just eat a healthier diet in general. That is what I have as far as just kind of an awareness topic. So I didn't want to dive into it too much to where, I was going out of my scope of practice, because that's not what I want to do. I just wanted to make you aware of some of these things and, give you that knowledge to use, so that maybe if you don't have high blood pressure, you can still take preventative measures. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope you learned something, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Take care.